Hello everybody, Alyss and Dusty here. Welcome to the new year. I wanted to try and do a top 5 games I've streamed in 2023, though I do have some rules for this list. Namely, I have to have streamed the game at least 2 times in 2023, and I have to have started the stream in 2023. So, nothing I started in December of 2022, nothing I only played once. It has to be something I started in 2023 and have streamed at least twice. With that in mind, alright, so hear me out. I'm a huge RPG lover. In-depth stories, deep worlds, lore that you can just sink your teeth into. So the first game I'm going to be talking about is Final Fantasy XVI. It's no secret I plan to discuss this game in its own episode of Initial Impressions, where I'll be going very in-depth with things. But the latest entry in the Final Fantasy series had me hooked the entire time I had been playing it. The battles, the kaiju fights, the twists, everything was so much fun. The game is worth experiencing. I very much enjoyed it. You play as Clyde, a soldier that is currently on an unknown mission. Not long into it, you see his past, training to become a knight in service to the Phoenix Dominant, your brother Joshua. Joshua's killed by an unknown flame dominant, and so while you are a soldier in service to a foreign nation, your kingdom having been destroyed, you search for his killer. The battles are fun and quick, comboing your attacks with special moves you get as you progress, and just the kaiju battles. Oh, the kaiju battles are great. Being able to control a dominant and fight these battles are so much fun, and I enjoyed it so much.
This is mine.
Well, looks like we're giving him what he wants anyway. God, this is so cool. Kaiju fight!
I remember now. I had a fire. I had it freed!
Embodying a freak again. So yeah, Final Fantasy 16, great, definitely worth playing. Now, something you're going to notice about this list is that most of these games are role-playing games. Now, I say most because, well, this is the one. This game is Slime Rancher 2, a game that I almost cried when I played it on stream because it's dopamine in the form of a video game. The scenery, the slimes, the heart-touching story, I love this game so much. And if this were an actual, like, ordered top 5, I firmly believe this would be in the top 2. Please go play this game. It's still receiving updates, and I'm going to be playing more of it in the weeks to come to show off some of the new stuff. But Slime Rancher 2 starts where the last one left off. You're running the ranch, no issues in sight, as a mysterious boat shows up. You get onto the boat and travel to Rainbow Island, a new, never-before-seen location with new slimes and these little bots that were apparently made by Mochi Miles. They tell the story of the rancher who had been here before you and just her heartbreaking story. It's really touching. I won't spoil it all here. Please go and play this game. The visuals are stunning. As I said before, I almost cried multiple times while playing this game just because of how good and how happy it made me feel. Now, this game was actually the reason that not all of these games are games I could use for initial impressions. because I've sung its praises every time I've played it, and even when I was going to a retro store to look for the game, I had wound up going on a passionate 20 to 30 minute rant with my roommate Revo in the car, and it's a game I've played since my childhood. I love this game. Golden Sun, a retro Game Boy Advance RPG, is the argument in what could be done with those old handheld consoles. While it's not some big AAA cinematic RPG, the story, the gin, the magic, the summons, it was all done in such a unique way. I know this game is the hardest on the list to get access to. Supposedly Nintendo will be adding it to the Game Boy Advance emulator at some point. I literally checked before I started recording. It's unfortunately still not available, but as soon as you get a chance, please play it. It is such a good game. As it starts, there's already action. You're in a terrible storm and trying to evacuate to safety. You grab your friend Garrett and try to go where villagers are gathering, and you wind up in your adventure coming across very suspicious people that talk about how they were in a sanctum. They beat you up and just kind of leave you for dead, and we cut to a later time where, I think weeks, months have passed. You've begun to learn psi abilities, which is the equivalent of magic, and you go to visit your teacher, who you find talking to those suspicious individuals. He lets you know that they had mentioned being in an inner sanctum, so you sneak in with your teacher, you get to the inner sanctum, and you set off on a grand adventure. You'll meet other psi users, you'll find adorable little critters named Jin, you'll summon world-ending, beings. If they live through this, I'll be impressed. Considering we're going to end the world again. Just casually. Just casually. It's such a ridiculous attack, I love it. Yeah, this game is one of my favorite childhood games, and I'm so happy I was able to share it with people who've never even heard of it before. Code Vein, my favorite Souls-like game. Literally, it's basically just anime Dark Souls. There's even a cameo from...
Is that Hatsune Miku? Fuck, they even got Hatsune Miku.
Oh, god damn it, get out of here! Anyway, where was I? Code Vein, great game where you are a vampire roaming a desolate and destroyed society looking for blood beads as you attempt to survive and beat your hunger. Your code, which is basically your class system, can be changed easily in the menu, and you start with 3 but obtain more as the game goes on. You specifically have what's called a void code, meaning you don't have a natural code, everybody else does. And it's really cool system. Once you master abilities from, say, the Prometheus code, you can actually put them on another code as long as your stats meet the requirement for that. Sadly, I will need to restart my file to be able to continue streaming this game due to some misplanning on my part with playing the game on a console while I was kind of borrowing it. But God, the character creator is just, it's robust, and if you get creative, you can have so much fun with it. It's such a good game. The combat's very responsive. You have so many options on things you can do, and quite frankly, I couldn't recommend this game enough. Please go play it. It's just so wonderful. Now, as always, there are a few games I played that I wanted to talk about a little bit, but just couldn't put them on this list for one reason or another. So here are my honorable mentions. First off, Crab Champions has become a bit of a staple on my channel for spontaneous collabs. It's wonderful. It's a riot. It just absolutely chaotic. I'm actually working on an episode of Initial Impressions for it, and it just had a huge update. Definitely worth playing. Next honorable mention is going to be Cassette Beasts. I love this game. It's got a wonderful story. Monsters are all designed to look really cool. The music is very pretty. Please go and play this game. Final Fantasy XIV, a wonderful MMO that is so good that there's a whole meme about how it's the critically acclaimed, massively multiplayer. You get it. I thoroughly enjoy Final Fantasy XIV and have to say it's one of the best MMO crafting systems I've seen to date. And as someone who prioritizes crafting in MMOs, yeah, I can't help but love this game. And the final honorable mention, I feel might be a little bit controversial. Baldur's Gate 3. Now, the reason that this is an honorable mention is I only started playing it about 2-3 weeks ago, and I feel like I have so much more to play it before I can really sing this game's praises. I love what I've seen so far, but I know I have to see more of it, and just, it is a wonderful game. By all means, I love this game, but I haven't experienced enough of the game yet. I will be playing this game again soon, though. So, the final game I'll be talking about here is Etrian Odyssey, a dungeon-crawling RPG that was recently released as a remaster. I love the series. The game's had more and more content with each release, and I even learned how to mod the portraits in the first game just so I could include some of my friends on my journey. I love that it doesn't use the usual class names, and instead chooses names like the Survivalist for a Ranger or the Alchemist for a Mage. It plays with the formula of your standard RPG and even lets you spend the points to learn skills, which can lead to funny situations like learning the ultimate fire spell despite not having the mid-tier one. Quests have story to them and reference quests you've done in the past. Shops get more items as you sell specific things. The dungeon's a magical area, like the floor changes style. It's a game I highly suggest experiencing, and just, it's so good. In Etrian Odyssey, you are trying to map out a dungeon, and while the newer games have an auto map feature, I actually turn that off. I love doing the mapping myself, adding the details, making tiny adjustments. The immersion from doing so is really good. The combat, it has a lot of strategy to it. Statuses, like your usual stun, or some unexpected ones, like being able to restrict certain limbs of enemies, which halts their skills or attacks. Weaknesses to elements, even some moves that will follow up other types of attacks, like the sword skill that attacks after a fire spell is cast. You start in a normal woodland kind of area before finding your way to a jungle, and then just the next area after that is just so pretty and blue. This should be the third stratum. Oh, look how pretty it is! Oh, I love it! So, that was it. The 5 games I enjoyed most that I started streaming in 2023 in no particular order. Were there games you loved in 2023? Games I was streaming in 2023 you want me to talk about more or play again? Let me know down in the comments or even on my Discord. Link is down in the description, and if you're new here, a subscription is always appreciated. If you enjoyed the video, drop a like. I'm live on Twitch Thursday through Sunday, link also down in the description. Sometimes I'll do a random stream depending on if I'm free. Thank you so much for watching the video. I'll see you in the next one, and I hope you have a wonderful new year. Can't wait to see you next time. Goodbye.